I will say this right now. All of you guys in the comments are going to hate me right now, but Billie Eilish, I think, will take the number 2 spot ranked in mazes this year. I'm going to say that, and I don't care what you guys say, but as soon as you walk through it and you realize that I was right, I'm going to be telling you guys, like, haha, I told you. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Horror Nights Unscripted, a podcast dedicated to all things Halloween Horror Nights related in an unscripted and unique way. My name is Scott from SoCal Exploring.
And I'm Adrian from LoshTV.
And we are Horror Nights Unscripted, bringing you the long-awaited episode that a lot of you guys have been requesting from us, which is great, because that just shows that you guys are loving these episodes a lot. So what are we talking about today, Losh?
Today we're going to talk about, if I'm not mistaken, version 3 of the speculation maps by HHN Nightmares.
Yes, sir. We're going to be talking about that. I want to dive a little bit into the recent construction update that just came out, kind of compare it to the maze locations, at least for, oh my God, at least for Hollywood, at least. So we can't really see that much Orlando construction, but as you guys know, Hollywood construction is more visible because it's not, most of the mazes are in a outside of a soundstage compared to Orlando, where all the houses are actually located in a soundstage besides the sprung tents, obviously. But go ahead and tell them about our social media first, Losh.
Social media? Well, if you guys want to find me on Instagram or Twitter, you can go and find me at LoshTV on Instagram and then King Losh on Twitter. And if you want to find Scott over there, holding that beautiful, is it a Turvis?
I think it's
a tumbler.
It's a travel mug. That's what they describe it as.
It's a travel mug. If you want to see that man holding the beautiful travel mug, go look anywhere across the platform. SoCal Exploring Media.
Yep. And if you guys are listening on Spotify, thank you guys. Make sure to click that follow button so you never miss when there's a podcast out. I don't think Spotify is giving notifications anymore, so just keep checking back or follow us on our socials so you know when a new episode is uploaded to Spotify. But with these episodes, I'm going to be trying to actually throw the pictures on the screen a little bit more because I know a lot of you guys were requesting that I do that. So it's going to take me a little bit longer to edit, but I mean, it's worth the quality, and I figured, why not? If it's that way you guys aren't confused when we're talking about, like, oh, that construction shot, and you guys are like, what construction shot? So if you guys are new to either one of our channels, subscribe to both LoshTV and subscribe to SoCal Exploring, and check out our merchandise shops down in the description. So this podcast, as our name is, Horror Nights Unscripted, is going to be extremely unscripted because, as you guys know, I had my choice words for the potential lineup for Hollywood, and this was produced by HN Nightmares on Twitter, and they know something that we don't. They have insider information where they basically predict all the mazes / houses, right, Losh?
Pretty much almost every year. They did it last year. They had at least 6 or 7 correct off the spec map.
For whatever reason, a lot of us have inside sources, but for whatever reason, their inside sources are the most trustworthy, and they're just good at what they do. So the version 3 has changed a lot compared to version 2 and 1 because obviously COVID was developing, so they kept back on a lot of stuff. But just pre-warning, guys. If you're sensitive to opinions about Halloween Horror Nights, then you should not be watching this episode because we're going to dive deep into our opinions on these two lineups. And we'll start off with Hollywood. Losh, give us our initial thoughts on the Hollywood one for you.
Why? Not why am I going to do it, but why is there only 7 mazes? It really blows. It's like, we had a lot of anticipation with there being 10 originally, right? 10 or 9.
10.
And if you even want to call this 7 because The Walking Dead's here, so 6. 6 mazes, and it's like, I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. It's weird. It makes me think, do I really want to take a trip out there?
Oh yeah, that's going to be the big thing is like, is it going to be worth the money for tourists to come over, like for Floridians to come over and visit the event? Because as we know, a lot of Floridians are, or at least the unpopular opinion, Floridians come over here and kind of trash on Hollywood's event. Now it's going to be like, why would I even go over there? And, okay, before we get into it, yes, COVID has ruined a lot of stuff. And it has definitely ruined the properties that we could have gotten, the amount of mazes that we could have got in, the locations that we could have got in. It's ruined a lot, and it's unfortunate. And I guess you guys can say, at least we're getting an event, and it's true. At least we're getting an event. It's just I feel like what I said was misled in my video was I wasn't so much complaining about having a less amount of mazes. I was complaining more about I know that Universal likes to charge so much for their tickets, especially Hollywood. And I mean, if you're gonna run a 6 maze event, you can't charge $85 for a general admission ticket. You just can't.
Yeah,
It has to be like
you
65.
can't
Like
charge the same thing they were charging last year
there's less to
at
offer.
all.
So.
Yeah.
And yes, the quality will probably be better. We know that the quality will probably be better. It looks like they're already in full blast with actually like getting started on these maces pretty fast and getting them detailed and stuff like that. But when you have less to offer, and there's rumors that there's going to be no Jabberwocky show at all, and I know we trash on the Jabberwockies a lot, but that still eliminates something that you could do at Horror Nights and brings the value of the ticket price, or it should bring the value of the ticket price down. So if they're gonna charge a lot, that's my big problem. Like, would you want to pay $80 to go to a 6 maze event with no shows, no Terror Tram, no anything?
No. No.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. There's just no point. But that was my main concern, and I think that a lot of you guys, or a lot of people who were disagreeing with me, didn't realize that that was my concern. I know I kind of worded it wrong in that video, but it's true. That's what my concern is. I could care less about how many mazes we can have. We can have 5 mazes as long as the quality is good, then I'll be fine with it. And as long as the tickets aren't $85, then I'll be fine with it. But Universal has to look at the value here, and the value for this year's speculated event isn't there for an $86 ticket.
Mhm.
But let's get into the lineup. So what do we got on the lineup, Losh?
So we last time we talked about this wasn't there. It was a secret IP, if you want to call it that. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is here. So, do you want to go one by one talking about each one, or do you want to just
I
want
guess
me
yeah,
to tell you?
we'll go one by one.
All right.
So you start off with your thoughts about TCM.
So I know in Hollywood you guys have had TCM a few times, and every time you guys had it, it's been a decent maze.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think over there for you guys it'll be a good idea.
What
I don't know.
do you like the TCM mazes at Orlando or houses?
So I've only did one of them, and I didn't have a great experience. I didn't enjoy it as much. So I've always had this running thing where I said, "Oh, I got to do it one more time to see how it was."
Mm-hmm.
So now that it's on the speculation map and there's potential to do it again, I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah. And it's a lot of people are saying that it's going to be based off of one of the remakes and even potentially
3D.
the 3D version too, which I think would be cool. We get more vibrant, or maybe they even do TCM in 3D like the actual maze. That'd be cool. Another 3D maze. We haven't seen one of those in a while, at least at Hollywood. So
I
that'd
haven't
be
seen one
neat.
in Orlando in forever. It's been
And
4 years.
I don't know. A lot of people don't like 3D mazes, but I personally, I think that I'm all for 3D mazes. I think they're cool. So if they decide to go that route, then that'd be neat. A lot of people are saying it's a remake though. I don't see why they do the same one they've been doing though.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I mean, I have this idea. Could be wrong. Maybe they could be tackling like a different, like you know how with Halloween they did Halloween 2, and then they did Halloween 4.
Yes.
Maybe they'll try to tackle like a sequel to Texas Chainsaw, not so much a remake, keeping that same Leatherface but giving you another story arc.
And they kind of did that with Blood Brothers in 2016. Um, kind of. So
Wasn't it like an original story,
yeah,
but based on I don't remember his name.
it was his brother. It was Leatherface's
Yeah,
brother,
yeah, I can't remember his name for the life of me.
which was cool. It was a cool twist to TCM.
Yeah,
And yes, you are right. It has been pretty successful in Hollywood at least, and I feel like a lot of people got to be open to it. Like I know our buddy the Haunt Line. You're all against it, dude. But we got to be open. We got to be a little open to it. I think that it's gonna be
yeah.
a good maze. I think it's a sleeper maze for sure. I think that's gonna impress a lot of people.
I
But
don't think that's the sleeper.
well, yeah. Well, I'm just saying. I think it's
I'll
gonna
tell
be
you what I
one of
think
the
my
sleeper
sleeper is.
mazes. Oh, okay. All right. We'll move on then.
Well, next we got the Walking Dead attraction. So after that we have the Haunting of Hill House because I don't think we have to talk about the Walking
We
Dead
don't really
attraction.
have to talk about Walking Dead. We're stuck with it. It's annoying. Um,
Hill House. Where is that
the
location? Because is that the soundstage?
what, The Walking Dead?
No, where they have a Hill House.
Hill House? Okay, so originally they put on the map that it was going to be located in the Mummy, and then he corrected himself and that it was in the soundstage, which I still think it's going to be in the soundstage because I believe I saw a permit for soundstage construction, soundstage 29, which is next to Transformers. And a lot of people said I was stupid for thinking it's going to go in a soundstage. Well, when they announced Hill House and they announced it's going to be in the soundstage, I'm not going to be the stupid one. But it's
I mean, it
if
makes
you
the most
guys
sense to put it in a soundstage as well.
yeah, and that's not me being cocky. It's just me. It's not. It's they're gonna have it in a soundstage most likely, and if they don't, then by all means, it's whatever. But Hill House would work best in a soundstage. It can't work in a tent. It just
Yeah,
can't.
no, I couldn't see it in a tent
You've
for you
watched the
guys.
series, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot of the scenes in there would not work in a tent at all.
it's like it works for a soundstage. You can mess with the temperature in a soundstage. You
Hmm.
can make the aesthetic so much better in a soundstage.
And
I just don't see
you
this going in a tent
you
for
could
you
also
guys.
put like a big facade inside the maze. Now they won't have one outside because Hollywood just doesn't do that. But
We don't do facades outside of the soundstage.
you don't.
No, they're all inside the soundstage.
Oh, okay. What about Dead Waters a couple years ago?
Dead Waters, it was in the soundstage.
Oh no no, that's what I'm saying. Like outside of the actual maze, but still in the soundstage.
Yeah, it was in the soundstage.
No, I know. I'm saying to like introduce the maze or the house. All right. Bottom line is you walk through a facade. But we don't do a facade outside of the actual maze. You
Oh,
actually just walk through like the black walls, and then like you sometimes see a facade. Not all the time, but you
okay,
sometimes
I
see
know
a
what you mean.
facade. So it'd be cool to see a big scale facade of Hill House. I think that'd be really neat. And if they can pull it off right, it'd look huge and immersive and just beautiful to take pictures of. And if they had that in the Mummy, they can't really do that.
Yeah, no, they couldn't.
It'd be scaled down a little bit more.
Yeah,
So
it'll be like Insidious. The house looked so much smaller.
I know, right? And that was like, whatever. So, but Hill House, I'm all for. I think it's gonna be creepy if it does come. I think it's gonna be absolutely terrifying and creepy.
Facts.
And then
Up next,
what
we got
happened to me,
we got the Invisible Man.
which is interesting because I thought that this would be in the Waterworld location or the Persian Courtyard, but obviously the construction has not started in those locations, and you guys can see from the recent drone footage that construction has not started in that location yet for Persian, and Waterworld is obviously clearly going to be TCM most likely. I mean, it doesn't look like Invisible Man at all. One thing that from the recent construction update, you can see them actually putting plywood up, which is something new. Before they were just kind of laying out the maze. Now that you can actually see them putting plywood up in the end of the maze, but you couldn't get a shot of the facade. Um, if you were to pull up the picture, which I'm sure I'm showing on the screen right now, you can see that the facade is getting worked on. But the thing about the facade, Losh, is it's just a square from what we can see.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas on what they could do the facade for the Invisible Man?
For the Invisible Man, so I was thinking either the house, like Adrian's house,
Mm-hmm.
or just a poster. I know it sounds stupid, but just the movie poster, and you walk through the
It's
poster.
just a freaking advertisement for the movie. Kind of
It's
like
just the
with
Blu-ray.
Blumhouse. Oh my God. What you guys had Blumhouse a couple years ago, and that's exactly what it was a poster.
Yeah,
And Invisible Man is Blumhouse. So
it could just be the actual like Blumhouse logo, and then they just put the Invisible Man on
Invisible
it.
Man.
Kind of like what we said with the Billie Eilish thing last time, where they just screen project on it.
Well, that'd be lazy if they do that idea for the Invisible Man. That kind of suck. But the facade's getting worked on, and we'll see more detail as time rolls on. Personally, I think that the Invisible Man is gonna suck. This goes underneath The Walking Dead for anticipation for me.
Oh,
And that
wow.
I know Mr. T. Levy Thomas has said that as well, and I gotta agree with him. Walking Dead goes over Invisible Man for me. I'm sorry. Like there could be cool effects, but come on, like
Yeah.
he's invisible.
Like I'd understand if they were doing the original Invisible Man. It would make so
Yeah.
much sense.
Uh-huh.
But they're doing the remake from what it seems here, because that's the logo from the new movie. I just don't get it. I don't
And what
understand.
my friend Justin posted about how they promoted the movie like way before.
I remember when I saw that, I saw it on Instagram, like the promotion. I was like, oh, they announced the house? And then I was like, oh no, it's just talking about the
They
movie.
do that every year where they promote a movie and then it ends up coming to the event. They did it with Purge Election Year and Truth or Dare. Oh, and Krampus. So
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know how scary this maze is going to be, and I'm afraid for this maze personally. I would have rather seen something else, but get off the Invisible Man topic before
Yeah.
I just totally hate on it. It
Let's
has
go.
potential, but yeah.
Let's move to Billie.
Oh yeah. Billie Eilish, rumored to be in the Metro set location, and this will either be where the like kind of book facade that we see, or the tent behind it. Um, there's a couple of things that I don't know if you clicked the link that I sent to the group chat with like
Hmm.
Billy's sample stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll put some of the samples on the screen for you guys. A lot of the stuff on there, I think it was from like her Coachella performance or something like that. I may be wrong, but Justin sent me this, and there's so much content there for horror and terror and gore that a lot of people don't realize. Y'all need to stop hating on Billy.
That's a lot coming from you.
I know, right? I know it's a lot coming from me.
Oh man.
And I also got word from one of my inside sources that Billy is working directly with Murdy. So usually it'd kind of be like, hey, let me draw something up. Let's send it to her company. I'll see what they think, or like whoever they're working with. But I guess Murdy and Billy are actually working like together collaboratively, obviously over video chat because Murdy's in Ireland. So um, well, that is a good thing because when the whoever the artist is that's doing the maze works directly with the creative team, I feel like that just works a little bit better
Yeah.
instead of Murdy just getting samples and Murdy being like, "This is what I think would look good." But it is bold coming from me. What's your take on Billy? Because
So
I'd get to hear your full take on it.
I've been completely optimistic about it ever since it's been rumored on the first map.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it could potentially be a very good house in Hollywood.
But not
In
in Orlando.
Orlando, I don't know. Only for the fact that you guys do music mazes
Mm-hmm.
or artist based mazes. We don't. I just don't know how it's going to work
And now with the
for
news of Murdy
us.
working directly with Billy, there's no creative team working directly with Billy from Orlando,
Well,
as far as we know.
who knows if it's like all of them working together creatively to try to find an idea.
Either that or Murdy's just sending samples of his stuff over to Orlando team, and they're just kind of like, all right, let's base it off something. That's why I'm concerned for the Orlando version.
Hmm.
But I will say this right now. All of you guys in the comments are going to hate me right now, but Billie Eilish, I think, will take the number 2 spot ranked in mazes this year. I'm going to say that. And I don't care what you guys say, but as soon as you walk through it and you realize that I was right, I'm going to be telling you guys, like, ha ha, I told you. Because, I mean, you got to be optimistic. A lot of the mazes slash houses that most Horror Nights fans have hated on before have come out to be stellar mazes. And then everyone's walks through them and they're like, oh, that was so good. Like, yeah, well, you weren't
You
saying it
want
during
perfect
the.
examples? The
Yeah,
last
go
two
ahead.
years for me, I wasn't excited for House of
Oh,
a Thousand.
House?
It was,
Yeah.
and then the year before Poltergeist. They were both my least anticipated house.
Oh, Poltergeist was for me too. I was like, I don't know how they're gonna do Poltergeist. I'm excited for it, but I don't know how they're gonna do it. And Poltergeist was so good. I mean,
Mhm.
some would argue with that because I remember Poltergeist was controversial and like people saying like there's too many black walls, but there's only 2 black hole transitions. And I liked Poltergeist a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't peg on Billy too much. You can say that she's emo, depressed, whatever. There's potential there. Just look at some of her work. There is potential, major potential. But what do we have after that, Losh?
So honestly, this is what I'm most excited for to see out of Hollywood. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Why are
He's
you
not
most
here.
excited to see it here?
I don't know. I feel like the way you guys did Ghostbusters last year, because you
Hmm.
guys had very nice sets.
Yeah.
I feel like it would look amazing.
Well, I feel like the thing with our Ghostbusters compared to your Ghostbusters is you guys were just trying to make like more of like the actual movie, and we were
It was
trying
a
to make
dark
the
ride.
movie comparing with the scares.
Ours was
So
just a dark ride.
yeah.
Yeah.
There weren't tons of scares in the Orlando one from what I hear, but in Hollywood, there were a couple scares. So, but no, you do bring up a good point right there. Like something like Ghostbusters relates to Beetlejuice, and I would say there's definitely more scare potential in Beetlejuice, in my personal opinion. So to see Beetlejuice jumping out at me or the sandworm jumping out at me in a puppet form, I am, oh, I'm so excited, and it's not none of this stuff is announced yet. But Beetlejuice, I heard from the whole lineup, the whole speculated lineup is the one that is 100% like, okay, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I'm extremely excited for it if it comes. It's gonna blow my freaking mind. Like and then if it sucks, I'm going to be so upset. I'm gonna hate on Horror Nights for messing it up.
I'm just excited to hear the music throughout the event.
I know, right? Oh, I hope they have merch. I really hope. Because last year they were limited on Ghostbusters merch because of like um contracts and everything, so they really couldn't sell that
Yeah,
many. We had the shirt, but
that's
that was
true.
about
Well, I
it.
mean, with Beetlejuice, we're probably gonna get a lot of merch since it's basically a character that's around the parks as well.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm hoping. Here's the hoping. And then what's the last maze that we have on this lineup?
Universal Monsters, The Brides, not the bride, The Brides, with music by Slash, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Had Music by Slash.
Yeah.
So Losh, I want to hear your take on this because I have a strong take and I'm sure that everyone else is along with it, but what's your take on it?
The Monsters have been doing well throughout the past. It's like, what, 2 years now? You guys have had Monsters?
Yeah. And then you guys did Monsters last year for the first year.
Yeah. For Hollywood, I feel like it's a good step because I'm pretty sure not Dracula, Frankenstein's bride has been in every house, right? She was
Yes.
burnt up and she was cut up.
Yes.
So why not put her back together? Have one of the monsters.
Oh,
Maybe it's
that's a good
maybe it's
idea.
Dracula's brides putting her back together, and they're going after everyone out there.
Oh my God, Losh, you're onto something right there. You're onto something. Because that could start off the first scene of the maze of her being resurrected or put back together or whatever you want to say. And then it just going into either the bride versus Dracula's brides, or like what we've been seeing is the bride using Dracula's bride's blood to resurrect the Universal monsters.
Ooh,
Which I would honestly like the second idea.
that
Because
sounds
then we get to see
amazing.
all the monsters again.
Yeah, maybe you finally get to see Creature too.
Could you imagine just a, oh my God, yeah, if they don't do Creature, I'll be pissed. Could you imagine just like a big like finale scene with all the monsters in it? That'd be so cool.
Oh my! Imagine like basically like a mannequin room, but they're not mannequins. Everyone's actually a scare actor.
There's no mannequins at all. It's just literally all scare actors, and that's
Oh,
it. That would be phenomenal. I think the potential's there. Universal Monsters is a successful property at Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood, and it's starting out to become a successful property over in Orlando as well. So I'm excited if this comes. This is kind of a given. I think Universal Monsters is going to be around for maybe one more year after this, and then after that they'll change it up. And hopefully next year they'll do Gilman. Hopefully they'll do Gilman, the creature from the Black Lagoon, as like
Hunchback,
kind of
Hunchback.
Hunchback? That'd be an interesting maze. They should do one based on Dracula because we saw Dracula like twice in the first Universal Monsters maze. Or you know what they could do? Universal Monsters: The Invisible Man, not The Invisible Man by Blumhouse.
I mean, didn't he only like laugh in the Universal Monsters house? Like,
Yeah,
was
but
it
did you see how cool he was like glowing and stuff?
make him a 3D house? Mm.
Oh, that'd be so great.
Oh,
The way
oh.
that they did the UV light in there, I was so
Oh.
impressed by.
So I
It's
was
oh my
impressed just
God.
by watching it on video. I
I
was,
know it glowed so much, and I was so happy to walk through that maze every time and see that particular scene. That was probably my favorite scene throughout the whole maze, except for when Frankenstein would turn the switch down and electrocute everything in the finale scene.
oh,
But that does it for Hollywood. I'm going to give my wrap up thoughts right now, and then Losh can do his wrap up thoughts, and then we'll talk about Orlando. So, do I think that this is the right move for Universal? Financially, yes, I do think so. They don't have money right now because they were closed for all these times. Now, keep in mind, like I said in the other video, they make tons and tons and tons and tons of money off every single event, but obviously there's going to be budget cuts due to COVID-19. So here's the thing, right? If Universal runs 6 mazes, and I'm not counting The Walking Dead, guys. So when I say 6, I'm not counting The Walking Dead. Even though I should be saying I'm not counting The Invisible Man. If they run 6 mazes at Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood this year, then the quality has to be ridiculously impressive. And it doesn't have to be like Orlando level. I'm talking about Killer Clowns level. I'm talking about Krampus level. Every single maze needs to be like that, or at least to that extent. Because if they're cutting down on mazes, they have more of a budget to put into other mazes. And that's my personal opinion. Am I excited that we still have a haunt? Hopefully, yes, I am excited. But wear your damn fucking mask, everybody. Wear your mask.
You know where
Because,
they can get some masks?
oh yeah, Teespring and TeePublic.
I completely agree with you though. I feel like regardless of the fact if they have 10 mazes or 6, if there's 6 mazes and they're all quality mazes, we shouldn't really have an issue. Yeah, budgets are
Exactly.
cut, but the money they're losing by the money that they're gaining from dropping 3 house, well, 3 or 4. 4.
We had 10 last year, I
So,
think, or 9. I don't know, including The Walking Dead.
okay. So, by dropping 3 mazes, it makes a big difference.
And one thing that we can also take into consideration is with less mazes, and this is one thing that a lot of people don't think about, is audition spots are going to be less. So what does that mean? Well, that means that Universal is going to hire the best of the best scare actors compared to just to fill all their mazes where they actually need to get tons of scare actors in. They're going to hire the best of the best scare actors. So not only will we have good quality mazes, hopefully, we'll have the best of the best scare actors, and they know what they're doing inside the mazes, like meeting their audio cues and knowing when to jump out. I
Yeah.
just wanted to point that out there. One thing
All
that I
right.
want to touch up on before we transfer, real quick.
Mhm.
I was looking at this map, and I think one thing that HN Nightmares messed up on was the fact that if you look at Scare Zone 3, if there's gonna be no maze in the Persian Courtyard, there's no
They,
reason to get a Scare Zone there.
yeah,
Um,
it's true.
because Despicable Me is closed, and I'm sure Secret Life of Pets is gonna be closed during Horror Nights, so there's no reason to go back there at all.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them do a Scare Zone in the Universal Plaza area. I think that'd be cool.
they're
Or it's
pretty cool. I
kind of
mean,
a gauntlet.
what I'd like to see is maybe a maze in Jurassic World, like in their queue.
Yeah, I talked about that, and I was and the recent not the recent construction update, but the one before it. But now in the recent construction update, it seems like they're not planning to do it at all. But I love that. I love that location so much. So yeah, one thing to point out there is the Scare Zone 3, which is French Street, I believe. Um, I think it's French Street. Is I don't think we'll be there if we have no maze in Persian Courtyard because there's be no reason to actually go back there at all. And obviously no Terror Tram, which is a bummer, and no Jabberwockies. Hopefully, Jabberwockies are still listed on there, but inside sources have been saying they may cut the Jabberwockies. Also, I know I keep delaying to get into um, Orlando, but real quickly, one last thing. Let me open this up here. So, in the recent Santa Clarita drone construction update, we have pavement where the Psycho House is at on the Studio Tour tram, and where the Whoville sets are at, where Whoville sets recently got destroyed. And John Murdy on his personal Twitter recently went on a rant about the Psycho series and the Psycho, not the Psycho series, the Psycho movies. And so does this mean that we could be getting a maze by the Psycho House? I think that's a far stretch, but it is kind of ironic that Murray was tweeting about it, going on a rant about it, and literally an hour later we see this footage of pavement that wasn't there before, right behind the Psycho House. It, I'm not saying that it could happen. I'm just saying the possibility is there. I don't
Possibilities
think it
there.
will happen, but the possibility. But
Take it with a grain of
let's
salt.
switch over to Orlando,
I
and
don't want to start with the
I'll let
houses.
you take over this one.
I don't want to start with the houses.
Yeah, what do
I
you
want
want
to
to
talk
start?
about something
Okay, go
that
ahead.
you know because you guys had it at your event last year, but we have it this year as a scare zone according to the speculation map. Creep Show. What's your
Yes.
opinion on Creep Show?
So I've said this before in my update videos. If Creepshow is actually getting a scare zone at at Halloween Horror Nights Orlando this year, man, I'm all for it. I am all for it. The potential is there so much, and the seeing the creep walking around, jumping around, scaring guests, it's going to be great. Seeing the different, hopefully we see the Father's Day, um, kind of figure there, and I forgot what his name is. I forgot what his name is. Hopefully we see different parts of the film there. Hopefully we see different parts of the series there. I 100% back a Creepshow Scare Zone at Halloween Horror Nights 30 this year. And that would be in the location of, is that the San Francisco area?
No, that's Hollywood Boulevard. That's where we had Vanity Ball and Revenge of Chucky.
Okay, cool. So that would be a very long scare zone in that location. So let's do it. Let's do it, Halloween Horror Nights Orlando. I'm
I
all
can just
for it.
imagine the creeps laugh everywhere.
I know, right? And if you guys are curious as to why the creep show rumor has come up, is because Greg Nicotero was interviewed by a random article. I forget what their name is, but and he said, I enjoy working with Halloween Horror Nights to bring creep show to life, and we're hoping to do it in Orlando this year, maybe. And then I guess some inside sources doing some digging, and creep show's rumored. So
Yeah,
let's do it.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff to work with there. It's actually really good. Like,
There's so much content for a scare zone. Oh, did you get interrupted?
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Okay.
good. We're good.
Well, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
So okay, so now I'll take over for the houses since you took over for the Hollywood houses.
All right.
And then you give your thoughts on them. So obviously, like Hollywood, Universal Monsters: The Brides. However, no music by Slash.
I mean, it's gonna be potentially just like the one the year prior, but instead of giving the limelight to all the monsters, just the brides.
I feel like
That's
the
what I think.
storyline is going to be a tiny bit different
Oh,
compared
most
to
likely.
yeah.
Because the brides, Dracula's brides was possibly the most, that whole room, like Dracula's portion, was possibly the most popular room
Really?
in the maze last year. Yeah.
So maybe that's where the idea came from, and then Hollywood was just like, oh, we'll do it too then.
So I can imagine that the facade will possibly be Dracula's castle.
Oh, that'd be
It's
cool.
it's in a soundstage, so I can see
Yeah.
us walking into Dracula's castle, kind of like we did for Dracula Untold. But of course, that was based on the movie. But that facade was beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and that was 6 years. No, yeah, holy shit, 6 years ago,
2015, right?
4 years ago, 2014.
Did you guys get it before us or after us?
We had it the same year, I think.
Okay, so I think it was 2014.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2014.
because 2015 was Michael Myers in Persian, and
Mm-hmm.
2014 was Dracula Untold in Persian. So it's 2014
Yeah.
for both.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see what you're saying about the Castle Dracula for the facade. I'm also excited to see the. It's because last year Ghostbusters was placed in this location, right?
Yeah.
So, as far as I know, it's one of the more popular sound stages.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that they put this property, as a front runner right there as soon as you enter the park. You'd think that they put something like Hill House there, or Beetlejuice, but
Yeah, that's what. Well, I mean, Beetlejuice was there for the original speculation maps,
uh-huh.
so
So
yeah.
it's gonna be interesting. Universal Monsters is. I'm curious to see how it is over in Orlando as a house because I gave Orlando a hard time last year saying that like, why do you guys think that your guys' Universal Monsters was better than ours? Because ours was just so good. Let Hollywood have something. And to be fair, Orlando did a very, very good job, but the Hollywood version was just with the mix of Slash's music, there was something special about it that
Yeah.
everyone as a community came together. Um, I don't know. I stand by. I think that ours was better, but no need for comparison at all. We can do that once we actually go out to both events. Me and Losh attend Hollywood and Orlando. Then we can make a podcast talking about which one was better, which ones did we like. So stay tuned for a couple months from now because that will be coming out.
Yeah. Very soon.
TCM,
TCM.
TCM for you guys.
I gave my opinion earlier on it. I'm excited for it this time around. Last time I really wasn't excited. I feel like we can really get into detail here because we're in a soundstage.
Okay.
Last time we had this, I liked the facade. It was the house, but it wasn't the complete full front of the house. I feel like the facade's not going to be the house though.
You don't think so?
No, I think it's going to be the what's it called? The barbecue thing.
The slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Wait.
No,
Are you
like,
talking about the slaughterhouse, or are you talking about like
I'm talking about,
the facade that we had a while ago?
like the facade you guys had a while ago.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, not the slaughterhouse. Yeah,
It's like a facade. It's like a gas station slash like barbecue station.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just feel like the thought of chainsaws in a house is terrifying to a lot of people.
Yeah,
And in
I mean the jump scares.
well, I mean, you don't have to worry about 6 feet when you got a chainsaw in your face. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is they can really manage social distancing in this house because, like, you're right, like, you don't really have to be near someone to scare them with a chainsaw. You can be standing there and just like,
Just the
no, and
sound.
they get scared. So,
Yeah.
um, I think that TCM will be good at Orlando. I'm curious to see because I haven't watched, and I guess I'll watch it after if we're done filming this. I'll watch a walkthrough of TCM, for Orlando, but I'm curious to see how they pan out together. I definitely think that both of them will be good mazes. Not the best, but I think that on both coasts they'll be good mazes. Next up, we have Bedtime Stories, which is the Victorian Tooth Fairy is rumored to be the theme with a mix of Peter Pan.
So this was, if it's true, this was supposed to come last year to the event, and it got
Oh yeah,
replaced by us.
it wasn't it rumored just for like a Victorian Tooth Fairy, or was it actually Bedtime Stories?
It was called Tooth Fairy.
Oh.
Yeah. So I feel like they had the idea, they didn't want to lose the idea,
Mm-hmm.
so they kept it on the back burner, and they're just bringing it back this year.
I like it. The Victorian Tooth Fairy. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I like honestly. I think that it's gonna be a sleeper house. Oh, you didn't tell me your sleeper for Hollywood. Which one's gonna be your sleeper?
Billie.
Okay, yeah. So there we go. I think that Bedtime Stories is gonna be the sleeper for Orlando. Um, and so the mix. You've heard the rumors about Peter Pan being involved in it, right?
Yeah, that's weird to me. Like I can imagine us going to Neverland, but
It's gonna be very much like Scary Tales, most likely.
yeah, basically Scary Tales without the Scary Tales title.
Yeah, just bedtime stories. So instead of fairy tale stories, it's going to be, Tooth Fairy. What are some other bedtime stories? Peter Pan,
Pinocchio? No.
Pinocchio. I think that we could see that. I don't know. I feel like Universal's confused with the theme of bedtime stories, and they haven't announced it yet, so maybe they'll rename it to something else. But I
Maybe
feel
they
like
just
they're a little bit
Scary.
confused. What's it?
Maybe they'll just end up calling it Scary Tales.
Scary Tales version 2.
I would doubt it. Well, I mean, it would be like the fifth iteration of it, and it's an anniversary year, so
I would like to see a Victorian Tooth Fairy just full house.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And then, of course, in the D location, which is the one right next to Bedtime Stories,
Yeah.
is the house that I'm most excited for personally, and the house that I'm sure you're most excited for, Horror Nights Icons.
Not the house I'm most excited for, but
Okay, well, I speak for myself because I've never experienced the Icon House.
it's my number two. It's my number two. I love the icons, but I barely like. I think I saw them 25 and then 26. Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
And I think this is gonna be something similar to Slaughter Cinema,
Okay.
but with the icons,
Okay.
where each icon gets their own
Room.
room slash story.
How was it set up for 25 years of Monsters of Mayhem?
So you had the facade was Jack's face.
And that was like that was the general theme, right? Was just Jack in that house.
Yeah, it was Jack being the ringleader, bringing everything together,
Hmm.
bringing stuff from the past. Which when we walked into the pumpkin guy thing, he was the first thing there. Then we had Scary Tales. Then we went into the caretakers thing. It was like all over the place, but it like all worked in sequence. Yeah.
Okay.
There wasn't really any transitions between the two. It was just went straight through it.
I'm just excited for a Horror Nights Icon House. Like,
I miss those icons.
as you guys know, if you're new here, I'm going out to Orlando this year, and I am so excited for an Icon House, and I'm so excited that my first year at the event, I'm potentially gonna get an Icon House. So, but also one thing kind of anniversary is related to HHN 30 is the anniversary house, which has no name. But I've talked about this. I think it's going to be based in Cary, Ohio. What do you think?
This is my most anticipated house
It is?
because of 25 years.
Oh, okay. I
I
got you.
think I don't think it's going to be based in Cary. I think the facade for this house is going to be the Dungeon of Terror.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't. Hmm. Maybe that's why it was taken off the first speculation map. Hmm. And I'd rather take Dungeon of Terror over
And I
anything.
think and I think we're going to have the Rat Lady in this house as well.
You think so?
Yeah. I wouldn't see her in the icons. I'd see her in the anniversary house.
Yeah, yeah. She wouldn't fit in with the icons. It'd be in the anniversary house for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we have two houses relating to the event's history. That is going to be a killer year. So just from the 5 houses alone that we've gone over, and we still have 5 more houses to go over, it's going to be an amazing year. So let's dive in to the 6th house, which is the Pumpkin Original. Now tell them a little bit about how it's been in front of our face the whole time, Losh.
You talking about on the website?
Yep.
All right, you guys
And
that are
not only
listening right
that, did you
now,
see that what Orlando did? They posted like a Twisted Traditions like
dude.
behind the
Oh
scenes.
my god! And it's literally the week after people were talking about that, they post that. And it's like they're like, here you
break
go.
break it down for us.
So, if you guys go right now to the Halloween Horror Nights website, and I'm talking about right now as in June 22nd or June 23rd, June 25th, this time frame before an announcement,
Mm-hmm.
you will see the pumpkin from Twisted Tradition. Everyone believes that this is the forefront of the pumpkin original house.
And I think that Universal Orlando was smart with their marketing. I think Orlando was very good with marketing and leaving hints. Now, obviously, Murdy likes to leave hints a lot, but I think that Orlando is so good at just like leaving little hints. You know, they do like sometimes like last year they did like a code and like people were trying to break it. It was nearly impossible to try to break that code, and I think that this is the most biggest potential of that being like the front face is that Twisted Traditions picture on the website. And not only that, if you guys are confused what we're talking about the behind the screams, is Orlando's been posting these behind the screams kind of like behind houses and scare zones, and they did one for Twisted Traditions today. Coincidentally, the day after everybody started talking about. So I think I think that this is going to be true.
I'm still gonna stand by Nathaniel Crow.
Oh, well, yeah. One thing that you broke down in your icon video, which I'm sure a lot of people were like, "Why did you even think about that? You're stupid." But honestly, Mannequin Theater, the Puppet Master. Tell me about the Puppet Master, Losh.
So, to be real with you, I want to learn more about the Puppet Master. All I know is that he's a puppet master. I'm being honest with you here. I haven't done my research on him completely yet, but I know that he controls puppets,
hmm
and his house was a theater over there,
And over there, we're talking about Singapore.
Singapore. So I don't know. I just when I was making the icon video, I just thought it would be a good idea to pitch this to us. Like pitch this to the people, and we have a mannequin theater here.
And I would be all for it. I think that'd be cool to introduce a new icon. Now, mannequin and puppets don't really relate as much, but when we see mannequin theater, I feel like this relates most to the puppet master. There could just be a maze with scary mannequins in it, or a house with scary
No,
mannequins.
no scare actors, just mannequins. The
Just
opposite of what we
mannequins, and
talked about
that's
earlier.
it. Literally, like you don't have the classic mannequin effect where there's a bunch of mannequins and one scare actor. It's literally just mannequins.
It's the whole house. You're in suspense.
um, Haunting of Hill House, the Haunting of Hill House house. Do you think that Orlando? Do you think that this is going to be the best maze or best house at Orlando?
Is it cheating if I say no right off the bat?
No.
I think it's going to be either the Icons or the Anniversary House.
Okay.
But
I
I
just
feel like Hill House will have the best scares.
Yes, I think that Orlando scares are going to be 10 times better than Hollywood's.
Yeah.
I am excited for the Orlando version of Hill House solely because I think that's going to blow my mind with how we talked about like Hollywood putting in a soundstage. We could have extremely big sets, But Orlando, it's not a could have. It's we will have extremely big sets in there.
Yeah.
So,
This is going where Monsters was.
is it?
Yes.
Oh, well, then that changes the whole thing. That's yeah. Well, then I don't think it's gonna be the best at Orlando, um, because to be fair, like Monsters is a good house, but I think the parade building is just can't. Well, no, because
That's a
wasn't
big.
Graveyard Games
It's
in the parade building,
yes.
and that was everyone's favorite.
Not
So
mine, but yeah, yeah, it was good.
I guess, I guess there's potential there. I mean, the house is gonna be incredible, but I just don't think it's gonna be number one worthy. Now that I know that it's potentially gonna be in a parade building. Beetlejuice, is that a sprung tent?
No, that is the other parade building. That's where Graveyard Games was.
So what are the
Which
two sprung tents?
the two sprung tents were Pumpkin Original and Mannequin Theater.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. I'm excited for the fact that it's in this parade building.
Do you think it'll do well in there?
Yes. The way I look at it, they're coming off the hype of Graveyard Games.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's gonna be like, "This is a good house." I feel like this isn't gonna be a dark ride. People are gonna go into this with the potential, like the thought of this is a dark ride.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna be in your face, scary. They're gonna go and pull out all the stops for this one.
Okay, okay. I fuck with it. I think so too. I think that personally that Hill House and Beetlejuice should have been in sound stages compared to Monsters and TCM, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
They're in the parade building. They can do just as good. Like you said, Graveyard Games was in there last year, and even though it wasn't your favorite, it was the majority the public's favorite, and that just goes to show how the house in a parade building could actually do well. But Beetlejuice, not much that we had to say about it that we didn't say for Hollywood. I think that the dark red aspect would definitely be there, just like with Ghostbusters, how that was. And last but not least, I'll let you take it away with Billie Eilish.
Oh, man. So in all my videos, I've been optimistic with this. I'm gonna stay optimistic. But compared to the rest of the lineup, I think this is possibly the house I'm least looking forward to.
And for Orlando, right?
In Orlando.
Yeah. Because in Hollywood, that's your sleeper.
That's my sleeper in Hollywood. In Orlando, it's my least anticipated house.
And honestly, I think that this house won't be super good. And I've
The
been saying,
location doesn't help either.
yeah, the sprung tent or not sprung tent.
No,
Where's it at?
it's in the Shrek.
Oh yeah.
The
Oh my god.
location does not help this house at all.
Oh my god. Okay, so if you guys don't know, Killer Clowns from Outer Space was in the Shrek location last year, and it was not that great. And a
Whoa,
lot of
whoa, whoa! It
a
was
lot of
good.
Orlando fans will argue, but if you look up at one of the walkthroughs, you look up at the first scene, it looks like the ceiling that you'd see in a classroom with little party streamers going down. That was the first
Yeah, yeah.
scene in the house. I'm not gonna get into Killer Clowns being bad. I think it was a decent mage, just wasn't as good as Hollywood, which is the first. But and Billie Eilish being in there, no.
Mm.
And that goes
The
back
last
to
good house we had in there was Krampus.
Krampus was in there.
Yeah.
And even then, a lot of people said that was shit. And I mean, I think that it looked good, but even then, people were like, "That's bad."
Yeah.
I was
I don't know,
hoping
but
to
yeah,
see a good Shrek.
yeah. With all that being done, like all speaking about that, what are you most anticipated for here in Orlando besides the anniversary of the Icon House?
Hmm. I'm gonna say, Hill House. I'm gonna say Hill House. I just think that Hill House or Beetlejuice, because of big properties like that, we've seen Orlando exceed greatly compared to Hollywood. So when I go through the Maze's opening night and here in Hollywood, and then I go through the houses the following week over in Orlando, I can be like, all right, which one genuinely did better? And honestly, I think that your guys' Hill House will be better. Our Beetlejuice will be better. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm predicting
Okay.
it. I'm predicting
I
it.
like that. I like
I
that.
just think that Murdy does such a great job at doing like those old vintage movies.
I
Oh,
feel.
took my camera. That's the only reason why. And I think that us with Hill House, we're burning our bridges with Netflix and with what they did last year with Stranger Things 2. Yeah. But what's your what are you most anticipated besides the anniversary and Icon?
Possibly the pumpkin original.
Okay.
Just for the fact that I can see them tracing back to the root to the event.
Another underdog that I'd say is Mannequin Theater.
Oh, for sure.
Like because
But
we
it's
know
like
nothing
Orlando
about it.
excels in the originals.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like we have a 5-5 split this year, and 6-5 if you want to count the monsters as a original. I usually do, but some people would beg to differ.
Yeah.
But we get like 6-4.
I think that we're in for a treat at both coasts. Now, like I said, Hollywood, with the 6 mazes and all, and, kind of disappointing and stuff, but at least we're getting an event. Nonetheless, I'm still happy because not only that, you can do the mazes like 3 times in a night at Hollywood because there's going to be less mazes. With me, right? I'd go and do the mazes, and I do them once, and I do like 3 of them twice last year. Why did I only do them twice? Well, that's because it was so big. There were so many mazes, and it's not like Orlando where it's extremely spread out. I know it's kind of spread out in Orlando too, but ours are extremely spread out. You can look down from the tram garage location all the way down to the back lot and see the mazes far in the distance.
Oh.
So, it's a lot, and I kind of am excited the more I think about it because that means the more I can focus on filming for you guys, the more I can focus on taking pictures for you guys, less wait times because of less capacity, and overall just fun. Orlando, I'm so fucking hyped for this. This needed to be the 30th lineup. This is exactly what it needed to be.
This is perfect. It's perfect.
And I don't care what you guys say about Gremlins or Sabrina. Without those, I think this lineup's perfect.
The way I look at it, you have one of the big IP series, like big IP killers. You have the monsters. That right there, 2 bangers. You have Beetlejuice that's been around since the beginning of the event.
Yep.
You have Hill House that's popular right now. You have a brand new story in Bedtime Story, Pumpkin, and Mannequin. And then the only blemish would be Billie, but that calls to a totally different audience. So it lets a bunch of new people come to the event as well, just like Stranger Things did a few years ago.
Exactly. I don't know. That's our personal opinions on it. If you guys disagree, let us know in the comments. We want to hear your feedback, but don't be mean. Stay positive because positivity is key. These are just our personal opinions. My name is Scott from SoCal Exploring.
I'm Adrian from LoshTV.
And we have been Hornets Unscripted episode 12. Hopefully there's an episode 13 where we get an announcement soon. But if you guys are new here, subscribe to both of our channels. Follow us on social media. All linked down in the description. And as always, take care, everybody. Positivity is key. Stay excellent, my dudes. And most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.